Your 2 cents on what we're seeing out of the Broncos, and obviously they just got hit in the mouth by the Jaguars. What do you think, John?
You know what? They've had a great year. They won 11 in a row, and they came in, and Jacksonville played great. You got to hand it to them. And I think that, it's at the time now that, they still control their own destiny, and they've got 2 left. And so, you never like to lose football games, but sometimes, this might be a good thing for them. You never know. But I think that, they've had a tremendous year, and, they got a short week, got to get refocused going into Kansas City. But, I think they have as good a chance as anybody. And, they've won a lot of tight games. They've come back several times in the fourth quarter. So I like the football team. I like what they're doing, and I think Bo's had a great year. And I like what Bo just said, and the fact that you get hit in the mouth sometimes, and sometimes it wakes you up a little bit, and it might have been a good thing.
Well, I mean, you also know what it looks like to have a defense potentially help the Broncos ride to a championship, 10 years ago, right? I mean, and it's in the same spot as Super Bowl 50, this year's Super Bowl 60, John.
Yeah, so you hope that helped for sure. But, I think the key thing, Rich, is they control their own destiny. And if they win those next 2, obviously they got the Chargers coming in the last week, and there's going to be a lot on the line there. So it'll be an exciting finish.
Are you seeing any similarities between that Super Bowl 50 team that you put together, John, and the one that's being put together for a Super Bowl 60 run? Do you think?
Well, yeah. I mean, I think because Super Bowl 50, we were so good on the defensive side, and I think we were 19th in the league in offense. But the one key factor we had there was we had the Peyton Manning factor there, and the fact that anytime he was on the field, everybody thought we could win a football game. And so I just they're still playing great defense. I think the offense has come a long way. I think Bo's got better week in and week out. He's still young and still makes some mistakes, but I think that he's got the potential to be a great one in this league for a long time. And the experience he's getting is great. And so, the next 2 weeks are 2 big weeks for him, and I'm sure that they'll come out and play well. But I think to me, when I look back, I think this team's probably a little more well-rounded than we were, in the fact that offensively, I think they're a little more explosive than we were.
Isn't that interesting? Because obviously Peyton Manning neck up, can't get any better than that. We also know obviously his physical status, if you will, in that Super Bowl 50 year. Your conversations with Nix, have you had any at all, John?
No, I haven't. I've had a chance to meet him a couple times, spend a little bit of time around him, but haven't had a chance to spend a whole lot of time around him. But I like everything that he's about, and he continues, he's a great competitor, and he continues to get better week in and week out. I think, and I really think Sean Payton's done a heck of a job. To me, it's amazing that he's not mentioned a lot about, Coach of the Year, but I think Sean's done a tremendous job with that football team in a short period of time. And, the mindset's right, and the fact that every game they go into, they believe they can win.
When you dead cap somebody to the tune of $85 million like they did with Russ, right, and then you have to draft a quarterback and go with him, and he winds up being the 6th quarterback in the first 12 picks of a first round, you're like, uh-oh, how are you going to win in his first contract, which is what you want to do in this day and age? Certainly when you're paying another person franchise quarterback money to not play for you, and they've won 22 times, and they can be the 1 seed this year.
Absolutely. And I think that, to win 11 games in a row in this league is very, very, very difficult. It doesn't happen very often. I think, what I'm impressed with was, with Bo's maturity. I think, when you play, like the experience he had coming out of college, when he played 62 college football games, I think that's a big, big help when you come into the NFL and having that experience and that maturity level. And I think we've seen that in the first 2 years with Bo, and it's just going to continue to get better and better.
Hey, you made it all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Check us out every single day streaming live on Disney Plus and the ESPN app, 12 to 3 Eastern.